Hi, this is Jacques Taylor, and you're listening to Jacques Talk. This is a podcast where I talk about the Cowboys, the team I've covered as a beat writer, columnist, TV insider, and radio host for 28 years. I'll also talk about the NFL and the things I love, working out, streaming, food, and all things down. Welcome to Jacques Talk, where sports is fluid. What's true today might not be true an hour, a day, or a month from now. I'm going to give you the truth straight, no chaser. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get it. Hey, welcome to episode 145 of Jacques Talk. I'm Jacques Taylor, joined by my boy Big Joe in the Big Rig. What's the sit rep, dog?
Let's see here. We are 49 seconds in. The light is red, and we are 5x5. Operation Jacques Talk is a go.
That is music to my ears. Before we get into Todd Archer, this is 145, which means number 45. Is there any good number 45s? I mean, there's Damian Wilson, I believe.
Steve Wilson.
I think Damian Wilson. He's wearing 45 right now.
Steve Wilson was the nickelback.
He a wide receiver. I thought it was a wide receiver.
Not
Or
wearing
did he
45.
play both ways for a minute?
He played with
Yeah, you're right.
He played with the Cowboys.
He ended up being the head coach of the Howard Bison. That's what I know
okay.
him from.
Did he now? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's Steve Wilson is the 45 I remember.
Is there any other 45 you remember? Because I don't even have no good guesses. Nope, that's it for 45. 45, one of those worthless numbers for the Dallas Cowboys.
But it's still represented though. It's all good.
Oh no, it's still represented. Before we get into Todd Archer, because football season has arrived, people. Y'all see me rocking the Buckeyes right here, right? Football season is here. We looked good the other day. Finally got a quarterback who can complete a wide open pass. We're gonna talk more about that in a little bit. Because Syracuse coach talking about he wants to send Ryan Day a bottle of champagne for allowing him to get Kyle McCord to play quarterback for his team. I'm happy for Kyle McCord. All I say is y'all played Ohio in the first game. Just give it some time, dog. Just give it some time. Maybe he is that guy.
Pressure bursts pipe.
Yes.
It's less pressure playing at Syracuse. Your expectations, hey, we happy to have you. Rather than we have you. You need to make this thing happen. You're not going to play Michigan and all of that.
That's a world of difference, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
The ACC is not the Big Ten, sir.
No, he might thrive then. Good for him if he does.
Good for him.
I got no hate, no shade whatsoever. Do want to tell you, the interview that you've been waiting for, Roy Williams, drops tomorrow on the YouTube channel, The Real Jacques Talk. Y'all remember that time Roy was part of an article where somebody called me the most vulgar of vulgar terms? Yeah, we talked about all that. How he feels about the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, we talked about all that. Everything you wanted to know about Roy Williams, including what he's doing now and why he's pissed in some respects at the Cowboys. Maybe hurt is a better word, not pissed. Hurt is a better word. We got into all of that. So check it out on YouTube channel. The Real Jacques Talk drops tomorrow at noon. You will not be disappointed. Matter of fact, you can send me a thank you note after you check it out. Without further ado, man, let's get to Todd Archer because football season has arrived. Archer brought to you each and every Wednesday by Smokey John's Barbecue, home of the Jam Session Bowl.
Hello.
What's up, bro?
What's going on?
How you doing? Hey, Arch had a birthday the other day. I don't know how old he is. He's somewhere in his 50s, living good. What'd you do for your birthday, bro?
Nothing.
After you hit 30, does it really matter?
If you're Clarence, it does, but if you're a regular person, no, it doesn't.
Well, Clarence celebrates everything, and it's all good. He's having his 15 minutes right now, so I'm happy for him. You didn't do anything? You didn't go out to dinner?
Oh, yeah, we went to dinner. Actually, Lily came home from Fayetteville, so that was just a big surprise there. She knocked on the door at around 9 o'clock at night on Friday. Didn't know she was going to be home, so that was good. So that was the present.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
How long a drive is it?
5 hours.
She do it solo, or she had some of her crew came back home?
Solo.
Damn, that's pretty impressive.
5 hours
she ain't but 18.
That's easy, man.
I don't know, man. When it's your daughter and it's 5 hours, I was worried about my granddaughter. She was just driving 3 hours or 2.5 hours from Austin. I was so worried that I did what I never do. I went on Amazon. I was like, you know what? Let me go buy you this portable battery charge and this portable tire inflator because I don't want you to have no problems coming or going that you can't solve until you get somewhere safe.
Well, make sure you teach her how to use that stuff.
Man, she's smart. She probably figured it out before me. You think I know how to use it?
Joey, I was just going to say, Joe, he'd have no idea how to use that stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, somewhere YouTube, somewhere calls having it is good, but knowing how to use it is a whole nother thing because if she got it, she might have to ask a stranger, hey, how you use this?
Do we have to bring up the Michael Johnson cut Jacques grass line this early?
I'm still tripping on Clarence getting his 15 minutes of fame. How you gonna belittle the man like that?
That was not belittling. Clarence is getting his 15 minutes of fame.
He been famous.
I mean, he having fame at another level right now.
Oh gosh!
But that's all good. It's all good. I was going to ask you, what do you remember about your first NFL opening day?
Oh God! I'm trying to remember which. That was 1997. Opening day, 97. I don't remember a thing. Bengals. Here's what I don't know if it was the opener. I don't know if it was the opener. I think Kajana Carter broke his wrist, maybe in his first or second game back from his knee injury, maybe.
Kajana
maybe. So all those, yeah, I can. Here's what I remember. Okay, I remember my first Cowboys game. It was Michael Vick in 03. 97, 03. Okay. They played the Falcons, Michael Vick. And actually, did Michael Vick play? I think might have been Doug Johnson might have started for the Falcons. Now I'm thinking about it, was Vick maybe hurt? But I know the Cowboys lost. And they didn't look very good. And then they went and won 5 straight. That Monday night game in New York, and it kind of kickstarted their whole season after that.
Dude, I'm impressed. I have no recollection of that game. That's Parcells' first year.
Right.
I don't have any recollection of any of those games right off the rip. Like, none of them. Like, I don't know. But it's weird because my first game was 1995. Cowboys open up 35-0 over the Giants. Emmett goes like 60 yards for a touchdown on his first carry. And I'm like, oh, so this is what it's like to cover the big time. And they started off 5-0 and obviously went and won the Super Bowl that year. And they ain't been back since. So that was my first game at the Meadowlands, Monday Night Football, I think it was. And it was, it was all the hype that I had thought about when I was a kid, dreaming about covering the NFL. So there. But I don't remember anything about that Falcons game, which is, I don't know, it's kind of disconcerting. But let me see, just for the record, who started.
I think Doug Johnson might have. Was it old Florida quarterback?
Doug Johnson. I am so impressed. 16 to 27, 228 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah, I think Arthur Blank was pushing Vic around in a wheelchair before the game.
Oh, now check this game out. Quincy Carter threw for 268, but he's only 15 to 32. Joey Galloway, 7 for 139 and a touchdown. How about that?
What was the final score?
27-13 Falcons.
Yeah.
Do you watch college football final?
Do I watch what?
ESPN? College football final? You're usually on the road, so I don't know if you check it out or not.
Not, I mean, occasionally. How about that? Is that a good answer?
Right. Yeah. No.
What am I supposed to know about it?
Oh, no, this is my favorite NFL show. And so I did something I'm trying to get better at, but I usually
You just said college football final.
Yeah, he
no.
He had old man.
How's that your favorite NFL show?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite college. It's my favorite ESPN show.
Okay.
So I dropped.
Thanks
I was
for
watching
me
it.
up, Joe.
Yeah.
And I dropped Joey a line and said, hey, man, I just want to say you guys do a great job on your show. I'm trying to be better about passing out compliments to people when I think about them, whether it's work-related or friend-related or whatever.
And Joey said, "Who?" And Joey said, "Who's this?"
No, he said, "Go Bucks." Well, football season is here. It's always the most exciting time of the year for me because I love football. It's my favorite sport. How do you feel about your Dallas Cowboys? That being the colloquial you, not the you. Going into the opener against Cleveland.
There's certainly not the level of optimism that there has been around in recent years. Although I do think it's kind of boiling a little bit, like the early part when the water just starts to bubble a little bit, but not really bubble. Because I think people are now okay, because like you said, it's football season again, and what good is it if you can't have any excitement about the team that you follow if you're a Cowboys fan? So I'm sensing a little bit of that, but I just think that Green Bay still hangs over this team, like that loss last January. And even Jerry, after the preseason game against the Chargers, I asked him about, hey, how's Mike dealing? What do you think of how Mike has dealt with not having a contract? And he gave me a little dirty eye and it's like, I don't know why that matters. I've never seen a coach harder. But then he goes, but we all know what hangs over this and this team, and it's Green Bay. So even it's still on Jerry's mind. And now they can finally kind of put that to bed with this season starting, at least for a couple of weeks. And then see if they can get back to that point where they can have playoff success. But if you're asking me, 10-7, right? Something like that.
I just moved off of. I think I did. I've been thinking they were under 500 all year. I finally moved off of it a couple weeks ago when they added the defensive tackles. But yeah, I think they max out around 10. That's what I think. And I'm not even sure I still got them somewhere around 9. I guess it's not much difference between 9 and 10. But I'm like you. I don't have a whole lot of optimism right now because I just think they have a. I think they have a lot of colloquial
you.
Yeah,
you gave me the.
Yeah. Well, when I say you're Dallas Cowboys, I don't want to be like, oh, you're a fan and you're this, you're that. So I just call them yours, even though they're not yours.
The SARS got broke out or something. I don't know. Colloquial.
But I think they have questions that have to be answered. And even though you have 5 or 6 questions about your team, that doesn't mean that they all get answered positively, which is what a lot of fans think. So right. As we go through them, so how do you think the running game or the questions about the running game get answered?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I saw some fantasy football, I think it was a fantasy football site that said I wrote that in a backfield with Dalvin Cook and Zeke that Rico Dowdle's going to be the running back 1 or something like. And I'm not saying I didn't write that. I sure don't remember writing that because I've been kind of confused at how this running back room is going to look, to be honest with you. So I don't know if I would have been that definitive. Maybe someone changed my words at something that I did wrote. I didn't even read it, but whatever.
They paraphrased.
Right. Well, they're saying I said it, though. So that was I don't know. Anyway, that's Twitter for you. And aggregating sites. I don't think the running. Oh gosh, how do I say this the right way? I think the running game could be better, but not because of the running backs. If that makes any kind of sense, I think schematically that they've changed some things and really kind of pared it down, and what they want to do and how they're going to attack. That doesn't mean they're just going to run 3 plays or anything like that. It just means they probably have too much inventory and they just want to tighten it up and still do a lot of things off that pared down look, if that makes sense. So, but does the leading rusher of the Cowboys have 700 yards this year? And I don't mean I don't mean that as right. So if that person doesn't, that means they're going to have 3 guys, say, with more than 500 or 600, just running backs I'm talking about, and to do what they did a year ago. And heck, I don't know. I have not seen Zeke run it in a game live in 2 years. Last year, Rico Dowdle did
different than it.
Last year, Rico Dowdle, he was fine, right? I mean, but now, can you handle more of can you handle a bigger load? Is Deuce Vaughn legit part of this situation? Is Dalvin Cook going to become the guy and save the world? I mean, I don't know. And I don't know anybody objectively looking at the Cowboys. I don't know how they could answer. You can answer the question, because you're going to have to see it,
right?
Which leads to a lot of skepticism about what they're doing.
Well, that leads into question 2, which is, what are your thoughts on the offensive line, especially Guyton at left tackle and BB at center?
Yeah, it's a nice test for the rookie left tackle is going to have in week 1 against Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine. And, okay, let me go to BB first, and then we'll get to Guyton. I think he's never played the position, right? So there's going to be some growing pains. But he's not replacing Travis Frederick. I'll say that. Biotis was a good player. Good player. That's it. Just good. So they needed to get better at center off of what they did last year, and that'll help the run game. And I think this kid can be better in the run game because he's stronger. He's not going to be on the ground as much, all that kind of stuff. Now, we look at Tyler Guyton, how he's replacing Tyler Smith or Tyron Smith. He's not replacing that Tyron Smith, the guy that we're all going to remember when he goes into the Hall of Fame. He's replacing the Tyron Smith that missed 5 games a year for the last 5 years. And while he played and was still really good, he still wasn't that Tyron Smith. So I think, again, there's going to be growing pains. I think he's going to be fine. And I also think they're going to help him a bunch. So when you got Tyler Smith, BB, and Zach Martin, they're going to be able to just help out the rookie one way or the other. Right. Some of it, I think, is going to be Zach Martin helping him more than Tyler Smith, because I think they're going to have Tyler Smith have one eye to his left the entire time, especially early in the season, especially against a guy like Myles Garrett, especially with all the different looks that Jim Schwartz will give you. So I think they're going to be okay on the offensive line. And maybe that's just pie in the sky, and I don't know what the heck I'm thinking, but I've seen those guys play in preseason games. Yeah, it's not been against all of the best players, but when they went against the Raiders starters, they more than held their own.
Right.
So I think there's more optimism there on the O-line than there is on the running backs.
The thing I like about them is, and Joe has talked about this when we were just kicking it around, is they appear to be much more physical and they have a nasty demeanor, especially as a group now. But when those two guys, I think, being young and hungry, I don't know. I think it just not that Tyron Smith wasn't, but I think BB is a nastier upgrade over Biotis. And I think they'll, by the end of the season, I think they'll be fine. And it'd be nice to see if there was a group that could really maul people and kind of impose their will at times. So we'll see about that. That leads me to this, and I didn't see much during the preseason. Not that I necessarily expected to. Where's the pass rush coming from outside of Micah Parsons?
So honestly, that you just hit my biggest concern for this team, if I'm being honest, because they've not replaced Dante Fowler, let alone Dorrance Armstrong.
Right.
Right. So I don't know. DeMarcus Lawrence is an excellent player, like one of the better all-around defensive ends you're going to have in the NFL. How many sacks did he have last year? And I say that. How many sacks did he have last year? 4?
He played a lot of defensive tackle on passing down. He played inside a lot of times.
It's not illegal to get to the quarterback that way, right? He had 4 sacks.
That's supposed to help him get to the quarterback.
No. He sacrificed a lot of his stuff. Dorrance Armstrong outside, him on the inside. He had to get double to get number 11 off, to get Dorrance Armstrong off. So it's not.
But why would the Cowboys sacrifice DeMarcus Lawrence for Dorrance Armstrong?
Well, it's more balanced, and you line. I'm glad you asked me that. You line number 90 next to 11. There's more pressure on the defense. Block that side. That's why. That's why you would do that. It's more. It's a Dan Quinn thing, but you got speed on the inside, speed on the outside. You can twist, you can loop, you can do a whole lot of stuff with DeMarcus Lawrence, and I enjoyed watching it last year. But he did sacrifice a lot of his sacks to be the run stopper, to stunt on passing downs. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
that.
but they move him inside because they think he can. His pass rushing skill is at an elite level, and he can take advantage of the guards inside. Because as we know, typically the guards aren't nearly as good a pass rusher as a tackle.
That's what I'm saying. It puts more pressure where you got to slide to him or shift down inside, and it gets number 11 one-on-one. It gets number 11 free, and it gets the other guys free. It's a lot of it's about the team.
But I think Parsons had the highest double team rate in the league last year.
Yeah, but you still get him. You can still get him by.
The bottom line is this: DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't had double-digit sacks since 2018, and he hadn't had. Yeah, although I don't think that's the case.
Well,
I don't think there's a.
No.
He hurt
I
his
don't think there's a. But that's a fact. But I don't think it's a cause and effect.
I agree.
Playing on one foot is not a cause and effect.
No, you're talking about two different things. I'm saying him not getting paid. Him getting paid is not a cause and effect to his lack of sacks over the last 6 seasons.
Well, when I watched him play, he can't change direction very well. He missed a lot of sacks. He played on a foot and a half. He couldn't change direction very well.
Let's say, let's put DeMarcus down for 6 sacks, and Micah down for 14 sacks, one more than he got, or half more than we got last year.
Yeah,
you really counting on Marcus Nealon to get you 6 or 7? You counting on Tyre Sweet to get you 5? Oso Digizua, he might get you 5. I don't know what he's had, but I think he might be a guy. I think we're going to see Zimmer. It's going to be different.
It's a little different defense. You got
this is going to be a gap pressure related more than individual matchup related.
Yeah,
in my mind,
you got the A gap stuff that he does. Where you line up guys in the A gap, who's coming? It's a guessing game. With Zimmer. So the linebackers are going to make a difference in the pass rush. I mean, he can generate some stuff. I don't know how reliable it's going to be, but it's a whole different scheme.
But they're still going to have to find the third guy, and they don't have that third guy.
Roger.
And Carl Lawson's on the practice squad. Look, he played 13 snaps or 14 snaps against the Chargers. I watched every single one of them, and I was like, he sure gets blocked a lot against guys that aren't going to play on Sundays. So maybe that's just a product. Hey, he didn't play very much. He was hurt last year. Only played 6 games, whatever it was. And wasn't in an off-season program, wasn't around the team during training camp. So maybe he can work into being that guy. But I think they're going to have to get it done in an entirely different way than what they did. Here's what I wonder. I wish I had the numbers in front of me, and I don't. We always talk about defensive line rotations.
Yeah.
And, are they all going to play 40%, 45, 55, 60 snaps or percent of the snaps? I bet you all the guys that we look at as the starters, meaning 3 down guys, not Mozzie and not, Jordan Phillips and not Linval Joseph.
Right.
All the other guys are going to play a higher percentage of snaps than they played under Dan Quinn. Just because they don't have the guys to replace. Again, they've not replaced Dante Fowler.
Right.
Because Dante Fowler will roll out of bed and he's going to get you 5 sacks. He's going to get you 10 offsides penalties, but he's going to roll out of bed and he's going to get you 5 sacks.
Okay.
Well, a lot of that you got to figure in with this system versus Dan Quinn's system. The linebackers are going to get sacks just because he'll bring those guys. That's what I'm saying. Because maybe that makes up for not getting to Dante Fowler, that your linebackers going to get involved in the pass rush too. Maybe. I just remember your boy Zimmer in Minnesota. How a lot of those times they lined up in the gap, and you didn't know who was coming, who wasn't until they dropped off, and they got a lot of sacks like that. They got a lot of sacks like that. So,
Kendricks had in his last year with I think it was his last year. Zimmer's last year in Minnesota was 2021, right? He wasn't in football the last 2 years. Kendricks had 5 sacks. Now, before that, in his first 6 years, he had 2.5, 5, 9 sacks. So it wasn't like he was, but they had Anthony Barr, they had other guys. I don't even know who their Anthony Barr is, to be honest with you. I think a guy to watch, honestly, is Maris Leofau, rookie from Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I know we're all hung up on Demarius Overshown, but I think Leofau is going to play a pretty big role.
Yeah, I was talking about him a couple of weeks ago. High energy. And then we was talking about where he misses a lot of tackles. You can fix that. Getting to the ball is what you need somebody to do. Missing tackles, you can't teach getting to the ball, but missing tackles, you can solve that.
So going hand in hand with the pass rush is, what do you think about Trayvon Diggs' first year back from the knee injury and how that tandem works, because now you don't have DeRon Bland. You got the rookie 5th round pick out there.
Kalen Carson, yeah. With Diggs, I mean, the axiom is what? It's always the second year off of a major injury, you're going to be better, right? I do wonder if that holds true for, like, quote, skill guys or not, if those guys can kind of jump right back into the mix and be what they were. But I think he's done a good job with his rehab and make sure he's ready for week 1. The Cowboys have been smart with him and how they've ramped him up in practice to get him ready for week 1. Look, I don't know how much he's going to be against Amari Cooper on Sunday, but he better be ready for Amari Cooper on Sunday, right? And the rookie better be ready for Amari Cooper on Sunday, because maybe they just roll Amari over there, and test him right away. So I guess this falls under the belief in Al Harris and what he's been able to do with guys. DeRon Bland was a 5th round pick and came in and led the Cowboys with 5 picks as a rookie. So I'm not saying Carson's going to be that guy. Maybe Bland's the outlier, but we've seen guys that have been tutored by Al Harris make plays and do some things. So maybe that's the faith, and maybe it's blind faith, and maybe it's just a product of seeing one team for basically a month and you kind of get snookered into things. And maybe I'm getting snookered right now.
No, I mean, I think they deserve a benefit of the doubt for the things that you're talking about. The run defense, they got the 2 big boys in there at tackle. It's got Joe Happy. You've got Zimmer, who's a commitment to stop the run.
Oh, the linebackers made me happy. The big guys are the big guys, but it don't matter if you got big guys if nobody feels.
I like having the big guys in the middle. I think we're going to see this defense play. I think they added Joseph and Phillips and they have Mozzie. And Phillips might be more athletic than what at least maybe that's what they're hoping, is that he can play something. But how do you get all these guys snaps? Well, I think how you're going to see Zimmer use two fat guys a lot. That's a bad term. 2 big dudes a lot. And maybe even in passing situations to eat up guys, to help the 2 guys on the outside and help those linebackers and stuff. So I think what we've seen around here for years, going back to Jay Ratliff as your nose tackle and, being able to beat guys with the speed and quickness. I think you got to think differently. Yeah, him too. You got to think differently on how they're going to work this thing. So, and here's my bigger question about the run game this week, and it's Cleveland, right? And they've been one of the best running teams in the NFL, and blah blah blah. Well, who's gone from Cleveland?
Nick Chubb.
Bill Callahan.
Yeah,
Bill Callahan too. Yeah, down in Tennessee.
Right. And I don't ask me to tell you who they replaced him with. I just know that guy's not going to be as good as Bill Callahan. Right?
I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how much that they can run the ball. And they've had some injuries up front. Their offensive tackles have been banged up here this summer. So, is that going to be the same running game that you saw with Bill Callahan running the show, running the run game there? I don't know. And I think the Cowboys will be better run defensively, and not just because they can't be worse, especially in the Buffalo and Miami and what was the other really bad? Arizona.
Right.
I think they'll be better because I think their defense will be more sound against the run. In part because they actually have linebackers and they actually have big guys up front.
Well.
What you laughing at, man?
Because I argued with Clarence. Well, Clarence argued with me about that for
Clarence gonna argue with everybody.
3 months. Golly.
And then the final of my questions about the Cowboys heading into this season. You think you get closer? You think Dak turns in another MVP caliber season? And can he elevate this team to where it needs to go, wherever that is?
Okay, so if you're asking, can he elevate the team where it needs to go? Isn't that a Super Bowl?
I mean, I guess so, but that's somewhat unrealistic to me. I think I would like to say...
You're the one around here who says quarterbacks are judged by Super Bowls around here.
Do I say that? I don't know if I said that.
Yep.
That's more like a Clarence thing.
No.
I mean, I may have said it. I'm not disputing I
it.
didn't say it. I just ain't said it. I probably haven't said it.
I might have
lately.
said it more directly than you have said it, but...
Oh, okay. I mean,
but you certainly hinted at it strongly.
Well, I think, and I used the Rick Carlisle example. Very rarely, as of late, have the Cowboys ended the season and you go, you know what? They played as good as they could play. They did all they could do, and they lost. And I say that because we say that with the Mavericks all the time. Seems to me like Rick Carlisle kind of milked as much as he could get out of this particular team or that particular team. And so I would just like to have a good feeling at the end of the year. I don't know that that'll happen. But, I think you know it when you see it. It's hard to define. But you know if they've given everything they've had, they played as hard as they could, and maybe the other team was just better, and, the season ended. But I think it's a fascinating season.
You just sounded like Parcells. I want my team to play to the level of expectation as I believe it to be.
Well, you know what?
Like that.
If I'm going to sound like a Hall of Fame coach, well, damn it, I'm okay with that.
I would say 2018 might be the last time a Cowboys season ended where you said they got as much out of that team as they could have gotten.
Okay. I just, the problem with the Cowboys is they leave you feeling so shortchanged as of late.
Right.
Well, it's all
like
about,
last season. Go ahead,
about
man.
expectations. As a resident Cowboy fan here, I'm right where I need to be. I don't expect nothing. How about that?
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, I don't.
You really don't expect nothing.
Not really. Where's the running game? And we got new players on offense. Dak better put his running shoes on. That's all I'm saying. He got to improvise way more than he did last year. I mean, where's the running game? And does Mike McCarthy want to run?
No.
Does he care about that? Just lip service to me. And that's what I'm saying. If I don't expect nothing and you give me something, it's all good.
So isn't that why we're saying 10-7 and we're not saying 12-5 and all that, or 9-8 or 8-9?
And I ain't said nothing. You said 10-7. I'm going, yep. I didn't say, oh man, that's terrible. Man, what you talking about? No, I didn't say that. I just silently agreed with both of you, 10-7, and I'm going as constructed. And we playing the Texans, we playing Baltimore, we're playing teams with some juice.
Right.
There's
7 games on this schedule that'll determine the outcome of this season, one way or the other. And for this to be
people's jobs too.
Right. For this to be a playoff season, They probably got to go 4-3 in these games. Starting Sunday, Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Detroit. There might be 8 games. San Francisco, Houston, and Cincinnati. So they got to go 5-3 in those games.
Yeah. That's not 8. That's only 7.
That was 7. Okay, 4-3. I didn't throw Tampa in there because they stink.
Well, I'd like to be pleasantly surprised by what they do instead of watching them like you said. When you brought up the Cardinals game, I start spitting over here. 185 yards in the first half. Are you kidding me?
I think.
See what I'm saying? That was what we supposed to. Yeah. That was a cakewalk. But I predicted that quarterback would do something squarely, and maybe they'd win the game. And Jacques thought I was crazy, but that just was like the biggest letdown in the world. And so, where I need to be right now, I need to be right here, and I might like the season.
So they have to be
Detroit
by the bye week.
There?
It's here.
Okay, and San Francisco is there, and Houston is where?
Home.
Okay.
Cincinnati's home.
Well,
Baltimore's
I just knew
home.
2 of those. I just knew 2 of those 4 in the North were home. So they got 4-7 at the crib. So it's there for you. You just got to go do it.
They have to be at least 3-3 at the bye week. Right?
All right. Yep.
So that means you got to get. Let's just say they're going to win. They're going to beat the Saints and they're going to beat the Giants at New York. Let's say those are the 2 wins right now. You'd put the W next. So then they're going to have to either win at Cleveland, win at home against Baltimore, win at Pittsburgh, or win at home against Detroit.
All right. I think
they got to get one of those to be 3-3.
To me, I don't even care that it's in Pittsburgh. You should be able to beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's solid; they'll play, but you should be able to. Beat Pittsburgh.
You want a fun fact?
If you're going, yeah, give me a fun fact.
Mike McCarthy has only beaten Pittsburgh 1 time in his coaching career.
In the Super Bowl.
And it was in the Super Bowl. Every other when he's played him in the regular season, he's lost. Let me go look that up for you.
How many times has he played him in the regular season? Like 3 times?
He's 0-4. He's 0-4 in the regular season against his Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right.
You want another fun fact?
Well, shit, while you on a roll, let's hear it, baby.
I'm on a roll. Last year's rookie draft class, just the draft picks.
Oh my God!
Had a combined 3 starts last year. All of them by Mozzie Smith.
Man.
After 1 week this week, the 2024 rookie draft class will equal that mark.
Well, man, I think we've already decided last year's draft class was just a trash class. Will McClay is terrific, but it happens sometimes, especially when you go off program. And I mean it in a sense of, and I've been converted to this over the years. If you just draft good players instead of drafting strictly because we need a guy to do this one thing, Mozzie Smith, you end up better.
Schoonemaker, whatever. Man,
why did they draft him, Doc?
Well, they didn't have another tight end. No one can sit here and say, we knew Jake Ferguson was going to get 74 catches for 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. There wasn't anybody in their rightful mind that would have said that.
No, but I liked him after his rookie year. But I guess they needed another. But I don't know that you had to take one in the second round. But maybe I would have felt better if this guy could play.
Yeah, he ain't picking the drop.
He's played 17 games, so I mean, it was. I'm not trying to become the great defender.
You can pee a lot in 17 games. If you can play, it's gonna show up in 17 games.
So there's never been a guy after his rookie season that after a bad rookie season has played well.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, there's guys like that. But from what I see, I don't see it.
It made more sense to me. It made more sense to draft a tight end in the second round that year than it ever made to draft a tight end in the second round 3 times when Jason Witten was your tight end.
Well, maybe it's not. It's not the why. It's the who. 'Cause he ain't done nothing.
I mean, that's always part of it, you know. But I don't know. I like Jake Ferguson after his rookie year, but I can't sit there and tell you I thought he was going to have a breakout season. But I liked him. I liked him more. I just liked his vibe. So for whatever that's worth. So who you got this week, man? I know it's early in the week. They haven't even had a practice yet. But who you got?
Screw it. Cowboys win 31-27. No, hold on. Let me change that. 30-27. Brandon Aubrey with a field goal to wins it at the end. Deshaun Watson does nothing for me. Right. Yeah, 66 yards.
Brandon Aubrey. Man.
Their best.
Well, Content Dave is boys with Brandon Aubrey. No, that sounds like a. I don't think it's
way too high of a score. I don't know why I would have done that, but all right, 24-21. That's way too round.
I didn't mean to talk you
That's
off of
way too round numbery for an NFL game.
All right, I feel you on that. Yeah, I'm not. I put you on the spot, but I haven't figured it all out yet. That's a
bunch of crap that you make me pick it, and then you're not doing it.
Well, I don't want to pick now and then change it again on Thursday. I'm probably leaning toward the Browns. But I don't mind being wrong if the Cowboys win. So there. All right, here. I'll say it today. On Tuesday or Wednesday, I got the Browns 21-19. How about that?
Okay.
I need to see that Cowboys offense do what it do.
How are the Cowboys? So 4 field goals and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need.
So you're on the Brandon Aubrey hype train too.
Yeah. Content Dave's got me on the Brandon Aubrey hype train. All he wants to do is talk about kicking. Gets on my nerves. But hey, he kicked it at Incarnate Word, and yes, he kicked at Alabama State. That's a long story. All right, Arch, we appreciate you, man. I hope you had a happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you next week. Or I'll see you
Sounds
out there
great. See you,
at some point. All right, brother.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's Todd Archer, ESPN Insider, my boy. Just had a birthday this weekend. Always chock full of great information. And what I like to tell y'all is really all these conversations me and Arch have on the air, we used to have these in the parking lot when we were covering the team. And that's why we got along so great. And that's why we were able to cover the team, because we talk about stuff like this, be like, okay, what do we need to write about? Because this is what's going on. And he's one of my favorite people on the planet. College football, man. Let's talk a little college football. Did you watch any this weekend?
A little.
What'd you watch? And how come you didn't watch more?
Cause I had parties to attend, and I watched a little Alabama, Western Kentucky. I watched a little A&M Notre Dame. I had a couple parties to attend and some other stuff. So I kind of watched them between talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Like you in the party. You at the party. They said it was at a brew house, and I'm going, all right, yeah, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. How you been? I'm going, man, A&M look bad. Man, Notre Dame don't look like Notre Dame.
Okay, let's talk about that game since you mentioned it. I was having this conversation with my son. We spent about 5 minutes trying to figure out, is this great defense or bad offense? Because it looked like bad offense to me.
Probably I would lean more toward bad offense. I mean, I think A&M and Notre Dame gonna right the ship sooner or later because they got 2 good coaches ahead of them. But are they gonna have time? And if I'm A&M, I'm waiting.
Well,
I'm holding on to this guy a little longer than Jimbo Fisher or somebody else, because you're still paying Jimbo. But I think the coach for A&M is actually pretty good because he did good things at Duke.
I mean, anybody who can do good things at Duke is that dude.
Yeah, he got Duke to be real physical. He got Duke to play hard. I mean, it was pretty good. And he's not stuck to a system where the quarterback has to go 1, 2, 3, throw the ball. They're not trying. They trying to win whatever way necessary. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Their next game is against Florida, which got dug up by the U. And so, and it's at Florida at the Swamp, but they got dug up at the Swamp by the University of Miami. Still, it's going to be a tough game because, Billy Napier is going to be all over Florida's butt this week as he tries to keep his job. And the Aggies don't want to start the season 0-2. And so this is a big game right off the rip. And then they got Bowling Green, Arkansas, Missouri. Arkansas is a difficult opponent, but Missouri is really good these days. So, the Aggies need to get off the schneid, as they say, and figure out a way to win in Florida and keep the vibe going. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of drama around their program, even with a new coach. Texas Longhorns, they look pretty good, man. They did what you're supposed to do to Colorado State. And they got Arch Manning in the game. He threw his first touchdown pass, and I think Arch Manning, man, had the luxury to do it the right way. And I wish more players took that approach, and maybe NIL will allow them to take that approach because everything you hear out of the Texas program is he's really improved over the year that he was there. In the brief appearance he got against Colorado State, he looked good. But they're going to be able to put him in 4, 5, or 6 blowouts this year. And, dog, when he show up and he's the starter next year, he's going to have full 2 years of experience, some game time this year, and he's going to step in ready to be that dude for the next 2 or 3 seasons because he ain't going to have to leave because of finances. He can leave when he really, truly feels like, okay, I'm ready to be a star NFL quarterback. And that, to me, sounds like a huge advantage for Texas and their program over the next 5 years.
Well, the advantage for Arch is that he got 3 NFL quarterbacks to talk to. And, those guys say, no, Steve ain't doing the right thing for you. You need to go to this school right here. Those guys are it's like a committee over there. It's a committee of Mannings over there. So if they would have said, no, you doing what in practice? You doing this? Doing that, you know what? Just wait your turn, and you'll be all right. Instead of going to Ole Miss and getting beat up, or going somewhere else and playing right now, just wait.
Well, I mean, I think that's the advantage. Like I was talking to my dude about this week. Like, to me, the problem in college football, like, I love the fact that you can bounce whenever you want to. Basically, I love that fact. Players should have that right. Now, at the same token, too many players, to me, just make dumb decisions about, they're mad about playing time. This much I know. Sometimes you don't play because you stuck behind 2 All-Americans or you stuck behind an All-American or an All-Conference player who's really, really good. And in that situation, sometimes if they're a sophomore and you're a freshman and the coach ain't said nothing about we're going to work you in, okay, that makes sense if you need to bounce. But bouncing because you don't want to compete, that ain't no good because why, bro? Any D1 you go to, especially an elite D1, you can't run from competition because why? They bringing in 5 stars every year to do your job wherever you go. And here's what I'm talking about.
You don't bring no 5. I'm just saying if you going from Alabama to Akron, you're going to be a big fish in a small pond. They're not going to bring no 5-star in to get you.
I think here's what I'm talking about. Dallas Hayden decides to transfer from Ohio State because they bring in the running back from Ole Miss. He transfers to Colorado. Dylan Edwards, the running back of Colorado, says, you bringing in this dude from Ohio State. He leaves and goes to Kansas State. And the other dude at Colorado left. He was at Houston, transferred to Colorado, was hurt, didn't play. He didn't like the fact that he wasn't named the starter, so he left to go to Oregon State. Well, the running back, Dallas Hayden, who went to Ohio State and went to Colorado, he couldn't beat out a dude who had 4 ACL surgeries, 2 on each knee, as a former walk-on.
talking about Offerdahl?
Yeah. He backing him up. Dylan Edwards at Kansas State was the number 3 running back. He got 8 carries in a blowout win over whoever they played, but he's the third back. And that's my point. The competition is everywhere if you're going to stay at a similar place or a similar school. Now, if you're going to take a big step down, okay, yeah, then you can go play.
Well, sometimes it's being comfortable. Sometimes a lot of it's being comfortable where you at. It's a lot of transition going on in Colorado. Maybe Dylan Edwards wanted to go somewhere closer to home, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not denying your point. I'm just saying it's a lot of factors that factor into it. One of the videos I watched, the clips I watched of Coach Saban talking, he was saying, "Look, I got first-round picks on my team. I had first-round picks on my team, and I talked to 31 teams about them players. Not any of those coaches asked me, how much did he play as a freshman?" Nobody asked that. So, y'all leaving because you ain't playing right now? It's absurd. And he's saying the same thing you saying. But none of them coaches asked me, hey, how much time did Mika Fitzpatrick get? It's not what you doing, it's what you developed into.
Yeah.
You know, so development gonna take a big hit. But college football is a wild scene right now.
And it's not just the kids. Sometimes your mom in your ear, sometimes your daddy in your ear, sometimes your parents in your ear, sometimes your uncle in your ear, sometimes your girl in your ear, sometimes your boys in your ear.
Sometimes that money, sometimes that bank account is in your ear.
Right? And I don't, Joe's right when he says there's all kinds of different reasons. So if I'm at Alabama and I'm not playing and I'm on some package that got me $500,000 a year or $400,000 a year, and some other place wants to say, hey, you can start for us, and we got $900,000 for you. Okay, that sounds like a business decision to me, because I don't know that I will be able to make this $900 again. So you got to do what you got to do. But I think it's great they had the options, but just because you have an option don't mean you always need to take it.
Well, you make a lot of. A friend of mine told me one time that her mother told her we make the most important decisions of our lives before 25.
Oh, I was gonna say my version of it was you make some of the most important decisions in your life when you're least equipped to make them.
Well, that's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's true. You just try to survive them. And I like to look at the animal kingdom because it's like that as the animal kingdom. You can learn, and maybe you escaped, and sometimes you don't escape. And the people who left got to learn from your lesson, not to walk through the lion territory at this time of day. And so it's, I think you're right. It's the wild, wild west out there. What's up with Florida State, man? They got dug up twice. Once by Georgia Tech, once by Boston College.
Well, you know what? DJU is fool's gold. He was fool's. I can't pronounce his name, but I'm just gonna call him DJU. And
right. Well, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's fool's gold because he went to Clemson, couldn't play at Clemson. He went to Oregon State, and when John Smith left, where did John Smith go? I can't remember. When he left to go to other school, he didn't take him with him, and so DJ went to Florida State. I think he a good practice player. I think he all potential. He got a big arm, but it's something don't click on game day. When the game is on him, it's a problem. But the college football is funny to me because it's what you want to be and what you shake out to be. And sometimes you got teams like Alabama and Georgia who are going to go wire to wire, be in the top 10 wire to wire. And then you got teams like Georgia Tech. Who knows where Georgia Tech going to be at the end of the year? But I like their running game. I like that block, that downhill blocking scheme. It was not no zone blocking for Georgia Tech. They was like, we blowing out the 3 technique, and we going to put the guard in the tackle. Ain't going to be no block who's there. We hitting this dude, and we moving his ass out the way, and we running downhill. I liked watching them do Florida State like that. Not that it was Florida State because I don't have nothing against them, but it was just some good football. So teams have figured out you can be physical with them. Plus, how many guys transferred from there last year? And then the quarterback for Florida State was really good last year. That team was really good last year. And it's been the best Florida State team that we've had in probably 5 or 6 years. If you think about it, that's a historic program, which what you love about college football. But how good have they been the last 5 years, before that team last year? So,
right.
I don't know. I mean, you are what you are. It's a lot of guessing and a lot of ranking and all that, like TCU last year. Hey, they was ranked top 10, right? And then
they wasn't.
Coach Prime and them got, well, you ranked on what you did before. So was Florida State ever that good, That's what I'm saying. That's why
I'm not I wouldn't be opposed to, I don't think it'll ever come to this because you use the rankings to hype the games early in the season. So I think that part is why you'll always have preseason rankings. But I wouldn't be opposed to a system that didn't come out with rankings until, till right when conference play starts. So everybody's had their, of course, now you would say, yeah, but some people playing conference games right off the rip. But maybe after the first 3 or 4 games, then we have the rankings come out. And you'd have a much better feel for who's number one. Because you're right, everything's a guess right now. It's the same old for the most part.
I would keep it the same because then you get to see those teams climb. You know what I'm saying? The guys that was unranked, you get to see them guys climb, and you kind of like that. Like, you don't know. You got your top 10, and you got your preseason top 10, and you going, okay. And it make you look a little further on the team, and then when they get dug up, like you said, well, who's top 10? Somebody, if they going down, somebody's climbing. Somebody who wasn't supposed to be there is climbing. Like a Duke or a Georgia Tech or somebody like that. Right. So I kind of like that. Like Oregon State who comes out of nowhere. I think who's going to win the Pac-12 this year? Oregon State or Washington? It's only 2 teams in the whole conference. How does that work, man?
That's some of the saddest stuff ever.
What is that? They couldn't pull nobody up. Are they still the Pac-12? Is it still the Pac-12?
I think they're still the Pac-12, but they're trying to go. They were trying to hook up with the Mountain West, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And so hey Doc, check this out. Do you want your ring for winning the Pac-12 with 2 teams in it?
Yeah, I take it.
We won the Pac-2, man.
A ring is a ring. Let me have that. Let me have that. Flip a coin, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Our conversation thus far with the Cowboys and college football brought to you by Smokey John's Barbecue, home of the Jam Session Bowl. Smokey John's Barbecue. Get some in your life. It is food to live for. That Jam Session Bowl, out of this world. It really is. It's the kind of food you would love to eat on Labor Day because it's good. It's not good for you, but it's fantastic. Make you feel good. Put you in a sleep coma. And why? Because it's a mac and cheese, a macaroni base. That means that's at the bottom of this bowl. And then on top of that, your choice. 2 out of 5 smoked meats. Your boy usually rocks with the brisket and the sausage. And then all that stuff you find on a loaded baked potato. All that stuff. Butter, bacon bits, cheese, sour cream, all that stuff. That's what they put on top of it, man. Then they drench it with sauce or drizzle it with sauce. It's fantastic. It really is. It is food to live for. That's really the best way to say it. Unless you're going to say it is love in your mouth. Now, I'm laughing.
Yeah, you laughing. You cracking yourself up.
It be like that sometimes, man.
You're a strange
if
piece
you need
of train.
Smoky John, if you need Smoky Johns in your life, more immediately than that, you can go to SmokyJohns.com, click on the marketplace. You can have the sauce or the rub sent to your crib in a couple of days. You can also go to any HEB in Dallas-Fort Worth. They got them all over the spot now. Did you know HEB was the #1 favorite grocery store in Texas, according to a recent survey? They got them in Allen, McKinney, Burleson, Waxahachie, everywhere. I'm a grocery store guy, and if they had one closer to me, I'd go to HEB. But you can find Smoky John's barbecue sauce and rub at HEBs all over DFW. And it's Joe V's Smart Mart, which is right off of 67 in Wheatland. in the Duncanville area, you can get the banana pudding and the sauce in the rub. Imagine that. You walk in there and get some of that Smokey John's banana pudding right off the shelves. It is to live for. Smokey John's Barbecue, 1820 West Mockingbird. Go check them out. Let's go to the block, Doc. Have you ever tried to plan a surprise party?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. My wife's 50th surprise party.
Did you pull it off? Or did you have some kinks along the way?
I had some kinks because my daughter helped me organize it. And also, my wife was like, "Are you going to give me a 50th birthday party?" I said, "No, I don't have time. I don't have time for that." She goes, "I want a party." Right. Oh, she went left. "I want a party." I said, I told you. So the day of the party, she goes, "Are you going to give me a birthday party?" I said, "No, I told you I ain't giving you a birthday party." So she left. She left the house.
She left in a huff.
She left, man. I said, "Where you going?" "I'll be back when I'm back. Get back." I said, "All right." My daughter called me. She goes, "You know the party starts at 7. You ready?" I said, "Your mom left." "What do you mean?" "Man, I can't." She was like, "I can't." She said something to the effect of, "Man, I can't let you do nothing." I was like, "Look, I'll get her back. Don't worry about it." And she came back, and I said, "Look, I'm taking you to this place. Why don't you put some nice clothes on? I'm taking you to this place where they're going to take pictures of you, and we're going to have dinner." She goes, "I really wanted a party. You know, all I asked for was a party." I said, "Don't worry about it." So, without going into too much detail, the gist of the story is I'm driving to Arlington, to the restaurant in Arlington where we had it. And that was kind of the middle for everybody. And I'm driving over there and I'm going, "Lord, please, don't let me get in a wreck and me not make it to this party. Because I got to get over here because I'm barely hanging in there." I'm thinking she wanted to kill me. She was steaming. She put some nice clothes on. She was steaming. She was mad as hell.
Right.
And so we got over there, and we got in there, and everybody yelled surprise, and tears came out. And one of the things I remember is that she was opening gifts. And I was like, "Oh, so you got a cool purse. Okay, cool. Oh, you got some earring. Oh, you got some more earring. Oh, you got another purse." I'm going, "Okay, man." My homeboys, some of my homeboys was there. Somebody said, "Man, them people really done turned out."
Right.
Come to find out, hell, I bought that stuff. I told my daughter, I said, "Hey, go get your mama stuff for Christmas, and we'll split it." Well, I think she spent about $1,000 on everything, you know. Just I was like, "Man, what the hell?" She goes, I said, well, I didn't know you were gonna spend that." And she goes, "You only got one mama." I said, "Hell, she ain't my mama." You know, but yeah, it was pretty cool. That was the one. Now my party got ruined. My 50th got ruined because my wife talks on the phone and she writes everything down. And so I was eating breakfast one morning, and
right.
I got a napkin. There it is on the napkin. May 28th, Jay Gilligan's. I'm going, Jay Gilligan's? I don't even like it, Jay Gilligan's, that much. But all right. I'm like, yeah, that's how I knew. I didn't say nothing.
Right.
So everybody yelled surprise. I wasn't surprised.
Well, my wife turned 60 this year. Oh, I don't think I was supposed to say that. Anyway.
Your ex-wife?
Let's not get caught up in the details, man.
Okay, well then, are you married or not?
Yeah, I'm married.
Okay.
My wife turned 60. And there was what to do. And I thought it was just going out to dinner. And then my daughter called me in the middle of the week and said, "Hey, let's do a surprise party." And I said, "Oh, okay. You gonna handle all the details?" I'm just a financier for the most part. Although I gave her a budget. And she said, okay. And so she quickly put together some invitations. And because this was a spur of the moment thing, she didn't have everybody's address. So what she did was she sent it. It would be like sending an invitation to Clarence. You bump into Clarence because, basically somebody thought that they didn't get invited to the party because they didn't know it was a surprise. And so they went up to her after church and said, the least you could have done was invite me. To which my wife said, invite you to what? And right then my daughter walked up and said, and interrupted it. So the rest of the week, my friend, was spent trying to act like the surprise party you knew about was not being planned. And so as part of the covert operations, we went out to dinner Friday as though, this is your birthday dinner right here because your birthday was Friday. So here's your dinner. And that was supposed to throw off the trail. And then I hung out and we went and did some stuff on Saturday. And then Saturday afternoon, I rolled back to the house. She walked in and then she was surprised by the party. And so it all worked out, but it was a very stressful week trying to keep a surprise that wasn't a surprise because 2 or 3 people mentioned it to her, and she was like, I don't know if y'all throwing me a surprise party or a party or no party at all. And then I was downplaying it the whole way. And so it all's well that ended well. And we had an interesting concept for food, man. My daughter decided, why don't we just get her, instead of having traditional party food, whatever that is, why don't we go get her food from all her favorite places? So it's a very eclectic blend of quesadillas from Gloria's and some wings from Outback and some food from the Chinese buffet, bro. And but it was all good because it was all gone a day later. So that was my adventures planning a surprise party. It took at least a year and a half off my life. Hopefully I'll be able to recapture that sum on the back end. But it was a good time that was had by all. And I've only had one surprise party in my life, and they got me good. I think I was 50. I guess 50 is the time when you get a surprise party. But that's how it is. Don't forget the Roy Williams interview dropping on Wednesday. That's today at noon. Check it out on the Real Jacques Talk. I'm telling you, it's the best interview we've done on the Jacques Talk one-on-one series, and it is worth your time. You can also follow the show on IG at the Real Jacques Talk. You hit me up on Twitter at JJT Journalist. And you can always find me on Clapper at I am Jean-Jacques Taylor. For Big Joe and the Big Rig, until we chat again, you guys be blessed.